Hello, this is Friends the Realtor, and welcome back to my Homebuyers University. I think all of you guys know that the 4 things that matter the most when looking at your credit score are the on-time payments, the credit utilization, the number of inquiries, as well as the length of credit history. What I want to do with you guys today is discuss 10 more ways to boost your credit in 2023. Stay tuned. The first thing, and probably the easiest and most passive thing you can do, is ask somebody with a better credit profile than what you have to add you as an authorized user. Usually it only takes a couple of minutes. This person goes into their bank account. Usually they can do it from the app. I use Bank of America, for example. I go on there in the options, add an authorized user. You add that person's birthday, social, first and last name, and usually that's all it takes to add somebody as an authorized user. They will collect the benefits of this person's good credit history, on-time payment, and that will help them boost up their credit. But what I would ask you is to be very, very selective with the person you trust to be your, mentor in this process, because whatever they do is going to reflect on you. If your goal is to purchase a home in the next 3 to 6 months, make sure that you do pick somebody that's very, very responsible for their credit. That way it doesn't mess you up. But like for any tip I recommend, definitely run it by your real estate agent and also run it by your lender to make sure that you're doing the best thing for yourself. On that note, another thing you can do to help boost your credit is utilize this service by Experian that it's called Experian Boost. What this does is that it allows you to add your phone bill and utility bills to your credit report as accounts. So let's say every time you go to pay your electricity bill or your water bill or your internet bill, it reports to your credit report and shows that on-time monthly payment every month, and that helps boost your credit. So the name of that service is Experian Boost. Definitely give it a shot. Tip number 3, and it's probably the most important of all these tips I'm going to share with you guys in this video. Pay your monthly payments on time, every time. Having a late payment or missed payment is really bad for you. It's going to be very hard to get rid of or dispute or whatnot. Just go ahead and pay your monthly payments on time, every time. What you can do to make sure you don't forget it is set automatic payments or set yourself some calendar reminders or notes or whatever you do to stay organized. Make sure you pay your credit card bills on time, every time. Tip number 4 is don't close any unused account. Let's say you went to Macy's one day, you did a whole bunch of shopping. They ask you if you want to sign up for a store credit card, and you said yes, and you ran like $1,000 on it. Took you a minute to pay it down, you paid it down to 0. You think you should be going ahead and closing it, but don't. Just leave it on there. It is totally okay to have account balances of 0. Just leave it there, don't touch it, because a very important part of your credit report, like I said at the very beginning of this video, is the length of credit history. If you close that account and it had like 5 years of credit history, you lose it. It's like it never existed. So keep any unused account open. Tip number 5 is don't apply for too many credits. Don't go out there trying to get a loan here, a loan there, a credit card here, a car note there. Don't do it. It's going to make you look very desperate, and you're gonna have a whole bunch of inquiries, and too many inquiries is only going to hurt you. So try to limit those hard inquiries. When somebody asks you, hey, can I pull your credit? Think about it twice, because the reason they ask you is because it's going to leave you with the hard inquiries. So be very, very careful. Tip number 6 is keep an eye on your credit report. There are some free apps out there where you can check your credit without hurting it. Stay on top of it, just check it, make sure everything looks right, and if you see some negative items that are not supposed to be there, or if you see some accounts that you never signed up for, you know there's a lot of fraud going on out there, make sure you take care of it. But this is one of those things you have to talk to your lenders and your realtor before you go out and dispute too many things, because depending on where you are in your home buying process, the word dispute might hurt you. So if you're already like in the underwriting process and the lenders are already going through your loan approval and things like that, at that point I wouldn't advise you to dispute anything. But if home buying is like 1 year or 2 years down the line for you, then you can go ahead and do those disputes. So like I said earlier, any of those tips, I recommend you doing it, but with your realtor and your lender by your side to make sure you're not doing anything to hurt you. Tip number 7, keep your credit utilization as low as possible. If you look on the internet, you'll see that a lot of YouTubers or credit repair specialists will recommend that you keep your credit utilization under 30%. And what that means, to put numbers on it, is let's say if your credit limit is of $1,000, you don't want to be maxed out every month in the 900s, $999. You want to be more like under $300, because 300 is 30% of $1,000. So try to look at all your balances, see where you are, and try to lower them actually below that 30% and see how that works for you. It should definitely give you a nice boost once you pay those balances down. Tip number 8 is get a credit builder loan. There are some loans out there with favorable terms that are really just there for the sake of helping you build your credit. Since I live in the US full-time now, I have found that not having credit here is really bad. You need to have credit even to rent an apartment or do something simple. Everybody wants to check your credit, so it's important that you have good credit, because I find that no credit is just as bad as having bad credit. So tip number 8 is to get you a credit builder loan just to get you going. Tip number 9 is consider a secure credit card. Even me, when I first started building my credit, I had signed up with Capital One. I think my credit limit they gave me at the beginning was only $500, and I had to give them $50 of like collateral to make sure that I wasn't gonna take the credit card and run off. Since I had no credit history, that was sort of a guarantee between me and them, and that's what they call a secure credit card. Eventually, later down the road, they refunded me my $50 back, and actually I still have that credit card account right now. I don't use it, but I still have it. Just to piggyback on the one point where I was saying to not close your unused accounts. So recommendation number 9, get you a secure credit card to help you boost your credit. Tip number 10, and the final tip for today, is ask your credit issuer for a credit increase. So going back to that Macy's example, if you had a $1,000 credit limit, try to see if they will increase it to $1,500 or maybe $2,000, because what they'll do is lower your credit utilization for one, and then for two, it's going to show that you have a lot of credit available and you're not using it. That's what lenders want to see. They want to see that you have a whole bunch of credit available and you're not using all of it all the time. On that note, this is the end of my video on 10 ways to boost your credit in 2023. I hope some of those tips will help you boost your credit. I hope they will help you get closer to the credit score you need to buy your dream home. See you guys in the next video.